Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Welcome to the OLLI classroom. We're really excited to be in here. And I even believe that tomorrow it's going to smell this good when we have live in-person classes. I wish we had smell-o-vision. It smells great in here right now. Thank you to everybody who has attended all of our OLLI shorts this month. I know that most of you who are on here have been our regulars, and we thank you so much for that. It has been a blast to do these. This is our last one of the season, and starting tomorrow, our classes are live and in person, so come on over. Of course, we're still offering some on Zoom too. I need to thank the South Dakota Humanities Council and the National Endowment for the Humanities for sponsoring the OLLI Shorts programs this month. It was because of them that we were able to bring these to you. I hope you shared them and had fun, and we will see you later this week. I'm gonna turn the camera on to bigger, and we'll get Stacy up close, wider. There we go.
So I got the wide camera now. I mean, that's great.
And I'll go get some pictures of you.
Okay, hi everyone. Today we're gonna make spaghetti in the Instant Pot. I have one going right now. It's gonna beep, and I'll show you what it's like when it's finished. So I did cheat a little bit. I like hamburger in my spaghetti, but I did cook it last night just because I knew I'd have no place to really drain the grease today. So first of all, this is the amazing Instant Pot. I have it on saute. I just turned it on so it would get hot. You can actually fry the hamburger meat in here, which makes it an amazing one pot wonder. I've got 4 kids at home on occasion. Anything I can throw in one pot is great. So I'm gonna put a little olive oil because we're gonna make some veggies in here today. And you can, the great thing about this, you can do it however you want. If you like the onions and the mushrooms, and if you like homemade spaghetti sauce, you can absolutely do that. I'm not that ambitious today, but I do have garlic and chopped onions. You can hear it sizzling. Oh yeah, it's sizzling away. And then I've got chopped up portobellos. Give it a little bit of a, gonna fry these up a little bit so they're good and oily, and it's starting to smell even better.
It smells so good.
And I did forget the salt and pepper. So if I had salt and pepper, I'd be salt and peppering these things up. So they do need, it's great to be able to just to have one pot. Go in here. Let's see inside. Ooh, that looks good. Yeah. Probably need a little bit more oil, but
It's a pretty fancy spoon you have.
yes, this is my amazing Aldi find. You can find it once a year.
Oh.
So this is beeping. It means it's done. But I'll wait just a little bit to open that thing up.
As long as the llama doesn't eat it.
No, this should be good. Is
Are you
anyone-
going to be sending us the recipe?
Yes, we'll send you the recipe. It's super simple. Who all have an Instant Pot? Does anyone have one that they love or don't really use? Or I probably use mine 2 or 3 times a week. Feel free to unmute and just, I feel like I need to talk to my friends here.
I actually don't have an Instapot. I'm always concerned about the pressure cooker aspect of it.
That concerns me too. That's why I was really excited to see this, because I remember the old pressure cookers.
So I've heard stories about them imploding sometimes or exploding. These have a lot of safety. They come a long ways. I think these have been out, I mean, I could be wrong, but right around 10-year mark, maybe a little longer. They just got super popular about then. I use mine so much. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like when we make spaghetti at home, usually Lydia makes it. She doesn't put in the mushrooms or onions because, well, kids normally don't like that stuff, but it's so easy. My kids can use it. We do hard-boiled eggs all the time. It's 6, 6, and 6. We put the trivet in here, as many hard-boiled eggs as you can fit, a cup of water, turn it on for 6 minutes. You turn it off, it'll beep, and then you let the pressure out. You let it sit for 6 minutes, and then put it in an ice bath, and those eggs peel so easy.
You're kidding.
No, they're amazing. So we always have eggs in the house. Okay, we're gonna say that's good enough. And here is my hamburger mixture, and you want to use meatballs or whatever you would normally use in your spaghetti, whatever's your favorite. Everybody likes different things, it seems.
Did you pre-brown that meat?
I did, I cheated. Normally I would have made it in here, but I knew we were not gonna have a great place to drain grease. So I did brown this last night. And it's got onions and salt and pepper and garlic and Italian seasoning inside of it. So you want the meat to be on the bottom when you do the spaghetti, otherwise the noodles could burn. Now this is so easy. You take your favorite spaghetti. I am using a gluten-free corn, but use whatever you want. I did have some chickpeas this morning, but I was a little nervous. Sometimes if you can't babysit the chickpeas, I was afraid they might disintegrate too much. So I went and grabbed some corn, but just use your regular whatever pasta. And if you like the elbow, use that too. You do need to get them in half here. And you kind of want to zigzag them across when you lay them down, just so they don't get stuck together. And simply just,
Yeah,
yes.
we can't see what you're showing, you know, what you're holding the camera up. We only see you and
Oh,
Stacy. We don't see what the
okay. Oh, we'll fix that. Hide it.
I can see it. Maybe it's my screen, but I can see.
So it's doing the other one. I highlighted this one. Does that help? Let me get a.
And now we see down into the pot.
Good. So I'm just kind of zigzagging them so they're not all laying flat. You can, I don't know how good you can hear it, but it's sizzling away. I feel like I'm yelling. Okay, then you will take your favorite jar of spaghetti sauce. This is not my favorite, but it was from Walmart and I didn't have to leave the house yesterday. It got delivered. So just pour your sauce on top. And if you want to make your own, great. I've got it right here. Good. This is the cool part. You just need to put a jar of water right on top of there. You don't pre-cook the noodles. One jar, and it's usually a jar and a fourth that kind of notice, so I got just a little bit extra. And then you just want to make sure, can you see down in that pot? Just want to make sure the noodles are kind of covered in the water and the sauce. You don't want to stir it, but just make sure they're kind of all covered and submerged. Then we close it up. 7 minutes is usually the magic. Okay, I'm completely upside down here. Manual, I'm gonna do 7 minutes. So just because it says 7 minutes, it's gonna take a lot longer because all that liquid inside of there, it's gonna take a while for it to come up to pressure. I started this one over here at 12:15. It's exactly the same. And it's been done for 5 minutes. I don't know if you can see the timer on that. So it's gonna beep when it's done. Mine beeped 5 minutes ago, and right now it's just keeping it warm. So you wanna open the vent, because there's still steam in there, and let the steam out. So you're not gonna be able to open this lid at all until the pressures come down. So it's gonna take a minute for that pressure to all get out of there. This is gonna taste like you've been simmering your spaghetti all day long. Same if you do a roast or soup. It just really gets the flavor in there going. Until it's getting near, it's getting a little quieter. One of my friends was nice enough to let me borrow her Instant Pot so we can have instant gratification. Otherwise, you'd be waiting a while here. So although this only takes about 7-8 minutes to cook, it has been shut and on for about 25 minutes now. That's one thing when I first got my Instant Pot, I was like, well, it says it only takes 8 minutes. I should have food on the table in 8 minutes. You gotta allow for fresher time, so. Okay, and you can kind of see that this thing, what is that called? Hole? The hole. That comes up and it goes down. Okay. Wow, and here is the spaghetti. So you're gonna need to stir it a little bit. And this is stainless steel, so it's super hot. And the longer you leave this sit, so you gotta stir it good because some of the noodles do kind of stick together. But this sauce is gonna turn, it's gonna thicken up a little bit. If you have meatballs you wanted to put in there, meatballs, you can see big clumps of garlic. And I'm a garlic fan, so this is right up my alley. I know not everybody loves garlic, and let's make it how you want it.
This smells so good.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
So normally I would kind of let this simmer for just a little bit. Because there's a couple of noodles that, could use a little more time. But that also is probably the gluten-free aspect. And wow, this is not gonna work. Oh, I brought my tongs for this very reason. Okay. There we go. Boy, messy just like at home. And then you would take your basil or whatever kind of herbs you like. I have no herbs, but I've got some amazing shredded cheese to lay on there. And there, Parmesan and Asiago combo. And here you have your 8-minute Instant Pot spaghetti.
Wow.
So if anyone's near, we're gonna have 2 pots of spaghetti. You should come out here and have lunch with us.
Right? How far away are you?
So yeah, we'll have, this one will be done in probably about 20 minutes. It hasn't even started the countdown yet because it's still building that pressure. So we're gonna have lots of pasta. Does anyone have any questions? I know that was super quick, but there's really not a lot to making the Instant Pot spaghetti.
You have to use your garlic bread in the old-fashioned way, right?
Just to dip it. I know I thought about that today, but then I would have had to bring the air fryer as well to get it nice and crispy.
Oh, air fryer will do that.
Air fryer is amazing as well. Yep.
Can we do a class on that next?
Yes. Yes, we could.
Can
I
you do
actually
a,
learned something about air fryers. I was looking at convection and conventional ovens, and I didn't realize that the air fryer is a convection oven, which actually cooks things more speedily than the conventional oven.
And
I
then
didn't know there was any difference.
yeah, I have a convection oven, but it takes forever for that to heat up for some reason. For the air fryer is just, it's ready right as soon as you turn it on, so.
Well, that's interesting.
My convection oven heats up really fast, but you just have to cook everything 25 degrees less than normal.
Yep.
What other things do you cook in the Instant Pot?
So a favorite in our house is cheesecakes. You can make any kind of cheesecake in about 20 minutes. So you have to buy a smaller springform pan, an 8 or a 9 inch, depending on what size Instant Pot you have. And then you literally just make your cheesecake like you would in the oven or for the oven. Drop it in there with little tinfoil handles so you can get it out. In 20 minutes, you have an amazing cheesecake. So good. Yeah, that's a big one in our house. And it's great. The smaller ones are amazing because then you don't have cheesecake for days. Because if I have cheesecake in my house, I'm going to eat the whole cheesecake.
can you do a roast in an Instant Pot?
Yeah. So the recipes that I found, I would add time. A lot of them say 120 minutes, but I haven't had a good luck only on that short of time. It's too hard still. I do mine about 200, 220 minutes, but I like my roast falling apart. So it's some trial and error, just like the noodles on this. It depends what kind of noodles you have. So if these noodles weren't done, there's an amazing saute function that'll just bubble. Like I could just leave this on and it'll just bubble up and cook them a little bit longer. Right now it's on warm. So it's keeping all this pasta nice and warm until we invite our friends in to eat it. We use it for a lot of things. Shrimp, roast. You can actually do chicken breast frozen. A lot of times I'll forget to grab things out of the freezer, throw them in here with a little marinara or
Wow.
really any way you like to make chicken breast. And it's about 10 minutes for a frozen chicken breast once it comes to pressure. Lots of soups. It's pretty easy. And then the nice thing is you can brown things. So I like to brown up my meat before I cook it normally. That's why I like this over a crock pot. Still use a crock pot every once in a while, but this is nice with the saute function.
How many different functions are there as far as like pressure cooker, slow cooker?
So it depends which version you get. This one is this one mine? I think so. I think this, I don't remember. No, this.
Again, we can't see what you're showing on the,
Really?
No, I have to turn it to
Oh,
feature that one.
gotcha. So it depends what version you have. I've got one that even makes yogurt. It just cooks it at such a low speed. This one's got rice, multigrain, porridge, and I don't even know what porridge is.
Soup.
Okay, soup. We've got steam, slow cooker, saute, eggs, cake. What do we got? Meat stew. I don't use a lot of these. It's kind of like anything. You kind of figure out what you want, put it on manual and adjust your time up and down. I use that one the most. And slow cooker. Slow cooker, honestly, I feel like it sometimes burns things on the bottom. I'm not really sure why that is. So if I know I'm gonna have something in there for like 8 hours, like an actual slow cooker, I'll just pull out my slow cooker and use it that way. But I know a lot of people that use the yogurt function. My kids were in a yogurt phase and now I can make yogurt and throw it away, so.
Wow.
Yeah, they're weird. Kids are weird. Like if I make spaghetti one day, they'll eat it all and want extras. And then the next time I make it, nobody likes spaghetti. So I'm at a loss. If anyone's got any tips for that, that'd be great.
No tips for that.
Well, that's about all I have. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm not an expert by any means. I just love the machine and use it all the time. So
When I use my slow cooker, I use these plastic liners designed for slow cooker liners. And I'm assuming you can't use that since you're looking at a stainless steel.
right, I think it would melt it.
Okay, how do they clean up? Do they clean up very well?
They clean up amazing. I'd show you, but they're both full. I just use the
Can you use
little
aluminum
brush.
foil in there?
Say that one more time?
Can you use aluminum foil in there?
I'm not sure what you'd use it for. I mean, I've used it
Well, I mean,
like,
as a, you tuck it around there, kind of like a protective, so you just pull it out and
I don't think you can tuck it around, just because it goes so close. The lid goes so close to the pot here. I can't really bring that around here. It's really up there. I don't know that I would. I think it would just be one of those steps you don't necessarily need. I've had, whichever one is mine, I've had for about 6 years and use it all the time. And the only thing that gets old or that sometimes you would need to replace on them is the silicone ring. So I'm making, obviously, pasta in there now. If I was gonna make a cheesecake, these things hold in smell. I've actually got different ones at home. So if I'm making a cake or a cheesecake, I take this out. It's literally just sits in there. And then I put in a different one.
That's a good tip.
order those from the Instapot website.
Yeah, I can get them there. Amazon, I think Walmart even has them. Target.
Really?
So many places sell Instant Pots now. Like Pioneer Woman has a version of Instant Pot. They were on clearance at Walmart last week here for $40. So
What size are you using right there for an Instapot?
this is the 7-quart and this must be the 6. Mine's the bigger one. They look almost exactly the same, but I did notice this one was a little bit bigger, the 7. I used to have a 6 and went bigger. I feel like you can never be too big. Just like with my air fryer, I wish I would have got a bigger air fryer. But I guess that's what happens when everybody wants to eat at the same time.
Has anybody tried funnel cakes with an air fryer?
Is it what?
Has anybody tried funnel cakes with an air fryer?
I don't think it would work because in the air fryer, it sits on a grate. You put everything on the grate, and I'm afraid with that liquid, it would just go underneath.
Oh, well, I've actually done a Google research on it, and it's the air fryer version is actually a thicker batter version.
Oh, that could be, yeah. I try not to eat a lot of gluten. Sometimes I cheat like crazy and then my body hates me. So that's not something I guess I would try to make. But I mean, trial and error. I mean, what's the worst you're going to be out? A little bit of batter? I would definitely try it. My kids would love it. And that's probably the only thing they would ever want to eat again in life.
I do appreciate the air fryer because you can get by with a really little amount of oil. It's not like the old deep fat fryers.
Right.
Those are just killers for people with cholesterol problems.
And a lot less cleanup. Just a little soap and water and you're done. And same with this, like these pots all come out. So this, you just take this whole thing out and it's all stainless steel. And you can put it in the dishwasher, you can hand wash it. It's just super simple cleanup. There's not a lot to it.
That's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
Somebody else had a question. What is it?
Yes, this is Ardell. I just wanted to know, is there anything that doesn't work in the Instapot? Or is everything pretty successful?
So I had the most problem with roast at first. The first Instant Pot I had, the highest you could put on was 120 minutes. And I just felt like they were tough. And then the new one I have now, I think it goes up to 300 minutes or something. And that really works better. And you'll hear a thing in the Instant Pot world called quick release and slow release. So that has to do with the steam. If you do a quick release, you're basically opening this valve and all the steam's coming out as fast as it can. So I would never do chicken or any kind of meat that way because it's like making the meat seize and then it's harder. So if you do a slow release, it's more natural. It might take 15, 20 minutes for the pressure to come down, but it's just more of a release for the meat. And I found that that makes it a lot more tender.
Would you ever try a fish or would that be too delicate?
I don't eat fish, so I don't really know. I've tried and I just have not succeeded. I have one daughter that loves salmon, but it just cooks so quickly. I think I would just probably wouldn't bother. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm sure there's so many recipes. Once you start in the Instant Pot world, there's Facebook groups, there's beginning Instant Pot, there's intermediate Instant Pot, there's Weight Watchers Instant Pot, Keto Instant Pot. Literally anything you could think of, you can find a group for it. And a lot of it is step by step with pictures. And of course, everyone has their reviews that they have to help everyone out with. So you can literally make anything. You can make a bundt cake in here. Egg souffles, that's what I've done some of those.
Mm.
The, not souffles, what are they called? Egg, like the egg bakes.
Oh,
Quiche. Quiche works great. And everything we do, even if you reheat hot wings, you can put anything that's heat safe, you can put inside of here on a trivet. You know how sometimes you put things in the microwave and they taste a little rubbery?
yeah.
You can throw them in here for 3 or 4 minutes and they taste fresh.
I have a question.
Sure.
Reliability. Now, I actually teach 15 classes for OLLI. I was counting them up the other day.
Jeez.
And in my research for a variety of areas, some sources are much more reliable than others. Something I run across for making bacon was that I found one, a lot of times they'll say 400 degrees. Well, there was one site that said 350 degrees because the smoke point of bacon is 400 degrees. So you're going to typically burn it. And what I found, is it reliable? I mean, like if you go to All Recipes or Easy Bake, or do you have any particular source that you find to be highly reliable?
You know, that's kind of the thing with an Instant Pot. They're all, if you use a true Instant Pot, they're all made by the same company. Like Instant Pot is the brand. So anything that says use an Instant Pot, it's pretty accurate, but also sometimes it's just people like me or Joe down the street doing a recipe. So it also depends on, it's personal preference. Like if I was using regular spaghetti noodles in this and not gluten-free, the time would be a little bit different. I would do 8 minutes instead of 7. I mean, it's kind of like everything that you do. There's going to be a little bit of room here or there, and it's pretty forgiving. Like I would rather undercook the noodles a little bit than cook them so much they turn out like rice, because I know on an Instant Pot I can turn that saute button on and it'll just boil it. The saute is enough; it will boil anything in here. So it got a little quieter because this finally came to pressure. I'm scared. And this is gonna go from on to 8 minutes in just a second. It closed up that was it coming to pressure. So now it will be quiet.
It scared me.
I know, I
don't cook.
I could tell I wasn't afraid right here. That would be really hot.
It would be.
Yeah, so if anyone if there's any other questions, go ahead. If not, I'm gonna eat my spaghetti because it's lunchtime.
Thank you
How
very
many-
much, Stacy.
You're welcome.
How many pieces have you bought, Stacy, in addition to the pot? How many accessories have you gone out and bought?
The only thing I have bought is the bundt cake for cheesecakes.
Okay.
I just haven't really.
Those rings, those plastic.
Oh, and the rings. Yep, I have bought some of these just because you can wash these in like lemon juice. But after a while, after you have made so many roasts, silicone just kind of has that. I mean, it's clean, but it's still, like I wouldn't want my cheesecake to smell like meat on accident. It would probably taste the same, but it might have, I mean, that's really it. Just the rings and the bun or the springform pan, that's all I've ever bought. Can't think of, they make a lot of different things. They make little silicone things that you could do like soft boiled eggs. I've never bought them because I'm not a fan of those. So you could go crazy or you could just stick with the basics. So it's really whatever you want.
Any other questions?
Can you post that 666 recipe?
Yeah, for the eggs. Yeah.
And the cheesecake recipe.
You'll have a newsletter full of recipes.
You can go down a rabbit hole with the cheesecake recipe because you can do Oreo cheesecake. I mean, Raz ate so many different cheesecakes. Travis his birthday's in July, and he always requests turtle cheesecake.
Yeah.
So good.
Just basic cheesecake would be fine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, thank you, everyone. And again, thank you for joining us for OLLI Shorts all month. It has been absolutely great having you here. Thank you. And we will see you tomorrow online and in person. Yay, we can't wait.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Looks wonderful.
I wish I wouldn't.